Ooh, okay, we're gonna do another run. We are doing part two of um Pisces and Scorpio, and we left with the fact that Scorpio and Pisces are two signs that are compatible. They're definitely compatible. They will fall under the compatibility of signs, and it because we have a fixed and a mutable as a modality, which actually works, and we also have a mutable and immutable, which also works. We have two water signs, so that's a trine aspect in the horoscope. So that works. And we ascribe part one with nature, and in part two, we're going to go into more specificity of behaviors and attitudes that both individuals, Pisces, man or woman, or the Scorpio, man or woman, possess as their own separate and individual psychologists, and then what that means when they come together and converge in a relationship. Okay, so we are going to go and discuss that in greater detail. Understand that with this combination, you have certain groupings, and one such grouping with this combination is that they can both be quite blissful and happy, and it's a combination that can work. But it can also be on the opposite polarity because we will always have opposing polarities. And with this combination, you can also have the negative aspect of this combination. And in part two, we are going to explore both. So we're going to jump right in, and we are going to go and discuss this combination. We're going to, okay, the couple are either blissfully, passionately, intoxicatingly in love, or engaged in an all and out, spiteful, damaging war of the roses towards each other. So, like Virgo and Scorpio, this is another combination that can either be heaven or hell on earth. It depends, on the level of maturity and on the level of awareness of both psychological awareness, emotional awareness, and maturity, and also intellectual and even social and cultural exposure. These people can get stuck in a sort of ignorant way of communicating and dealing with each other, dealing with their own proximity. This is the type of combination where you become the product of your environment. And if your environment was one of dysfunction, then you are going to deal in your intimate and interpersonal relationships with a certain degree of dysfunction for both Scorpio and Pisces. So a lot of it with this combination depends on what was the level of education and the level of exposition. If you were well exposed and well disposed, then this combination should not be a problem. Even for those who are below 30, there should be a level of education and a level of sophistication that would have been acquired from youth to then lead you to make the right choices when you reach your prime and then way above your prime. But these are exceptions rather than the rule. The reality is that with this combination, which is a very common combination, is more of a collision than it is a union. And even because, Pisces and Scorpio, both being so private, both being reserved, and the fact that both of you can act as mirrors to each other, whether involuntarily or voluntarily, doesn't mean that the interplay between the couple is going to be a smooth or easy one. Because again, the factors involved are that if you don't know yourself enough, you're not gonna really know yourself when you see a reflection of yourself in the other partner. If there isn't enough inventory of self knowledge, from within yourself, then there's no way that you're going to be able to gauge or even identify yourself with the other person. If anything, there can be a collision among your shadows. You know, this combination grows with time and with maturity. It grows with time. And my cue cards are reversed. With time and maturity. You know, and this combination, like let's say Gemini and Sagittarius combination, or even Virgo and Scorpio. These are both signs can deal with crisis and can go through crisis. And the one, of course, that will probably survive the crisis, whatever it is, will be Scorpio, but so would Pisces. Both are strong and both are resilient. And and like I mentioned in part one, this is what's going to connect you and keep you guys bounded and keep you guys together. Okay? So both Pisces and Scorpio are never just okay. If there is damage and if there is an issue, it's usually taken to the kilt. Both Scorpio and Pisces do this. No, nothing can ever be resolved or smoothed out or ironed out calmly. There's always got to be a certain level of tension that never quite goes away. And it almost becomes the foundational bedrock in which the relationship can gather momentum. And then that's where, the sex becomes unbelievable between this combination. Because it's almost like they keep purposely alive a certain level of tension that they can feed off of. Remember, Scorpio is the cosmic vampire who feeds off intensity and negative energy. And Pisces is the conduit and receptor which can channel through these energies. And it can be positive or it could be negative. If Scorpio is in control, the Pisces woman, if it's a Scorpio man, will follow suit and will mesh with that energy. So she can become just as wicked and just as unbalanced as he is if she allows herself to fall in his current. Now, if we flip it and we say that, let's say it's a Scorpio woman and a Pisces man, the Pisces man, listen, I'm sorry. The Pisces man doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance. So therefore, we already know who's going to be the boss in this relationship. It's going to be the Scorpio woman. Okay? If it's a Scorpio man and a Pisces woman, it'll be the Scorpio man that's going to be in control. Because again, like I mentioned in my other Pisces video, the Pisces woman is apt to be more inconsistent than the Scorpio. And that's where she may gain to lose, And that is what, unfortunately, something that you can hold against her. Okay? Is that lack of inconsistency. But, when they're outside, it's one thing, they can feed off each other when they're in public, you know. But they can also exhaust each other because both are relentless and both have tremendous reserve of energy. So, the compatibility between these two is very heightened because they kind of share the same tactic when it comes to their own reactions to the world at large. Scorpio and Pisces react to the world around them exactly the same way. So there is a sense of familiarity with that. This couple, this is the type of couple that will break up and get back together. Break up and get back together. and they can do this back and forth thing because they can't get enough of each other and they don't know quite how to live with each other, especially if they have spent a lot of time together, where there has been an enmeshment. And sometimes, it gets complicated and then they cannot separate. There is a movie with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. I think it's called Breakup. I think it's called Breakup. It's Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. You should watch that movie. That movie is a typical Scorpio and Pisces combination. It can also be a Virgo Scorpio combination. Watch that movie. It became complicated. That's what I can say. I don't want to go into the movie because I want you to discover it yourself. And maybe you could email, let me know. But let me tell you, that movie fits that combination. Yeah, yeah, it do. Okay, now when it's almost like they have together what's called a Jekyll and Hyde. It's a Jekyll and Hyde personality that they have because they become quite different when they are at home. Okay, at home, this couple will create an unbearable or an unbeatable. Actually, I mean, it depends on what side of the fence you're on. If they're fighting, if they're in that fighting mode, then the atmosphere that they will create when they're together will definitely be an unbearable one. But if we keep it positive and let's say that they're at home, they will create an unbeatable, okay, uh, uh, atmosphere or an atmospheric partnership. Again, kind of like Scorpio and Virgo, they will develop a partnership in which they will coexist together, and it becomes a partnership, no doubt infused with a certain degree of otherworldly, mystical, hard to put in your finger on spirituality. Because if you're living with a Pisces woman, more so the Pisces woman than if it's a Pisces man with a Scorpio, you best believe that there'll be incense and scented candles and different musics of meditations and waves, and she'll be dressed with different gowns that can be as mystical as the lunar goddess. Pisces will definitely, dealing with the woman, will set the tone and the atmosphere. And of course, Scorpio would be more than comfortable with this. He won't budge and he won't front or fuss about it. The more eccentric or extreme or dreamy or mystical, listen, the better. For Scorpio, it won't be boring. And nothing is boring to him when it comes to these things. It intrigues him. And remember, Pisces, especially the woman, is like an open ocean, what it's just vast degrees of knowledge that you can tap into, that you will tap into, you know. And that kind of keeps the juices flowing. Scorpio, along with Pisces, they don't like boring people. And they don't want to, um, they don't want to be bored, you know. They want someone that vibrates or would vibrate with intensity just like they do. Because that makes life that much more exciting and that much more juicy. It's true. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Now, uh, understand that with this combination, Pisces being a mutable sign will fit beautifully and happily with the choices of Scorpio and his deeper wishes. Especially if it's a Pisces woman dealing with a Scorpio man. The Scorpio man will take control and will take lead. Because understand that the Pisces woman deep down wants a man that can dominate her and can also take control. She wants a man like that. And the Scorpio man can fit that bill. She don't mind being dominated by him, put under his thumb and under his control. She will never lack, she will never want, she will have anything and everything she wants, because with a Scorpio, you're not going to lack money. If you're with a Scorpio, man or woman, you're not going to lack money. Especially if it's a Scorpio male. So she's willing to do what she got to do. She's a mutable water sign. She can submit to the demands and fixity of Scorpio. Understand that after a while, she's going to get to know the matrix and the program, and then she can adapt to it and even make it better. And in a way, it's good for the Scorpion, because then she's going to help evolve him. Because the Scorpio on his own will not evolve. He'll stick and stay where he at. It's going to take the woman to transcend him and help him evolve, especially if we're dealing with an unevolved Scorpio. And this very well may be the case, especially if we're dealing with people below age 30, in their 20s or teen years. That seems more likely than if we're dealing with a couple that's on their prime or above their prime, like in their 40s or 50s. No, it's a different dynamic. Normally, one would think that by those phases or late phases in life, there's a certain level of exposure and education and experience that will allow each personality to grow accordingly. So then, if we're dealing in that kind of case scenario, then this combination can blossom into old age with a certain aura of beauty, as precious as my onyx stone, you know? And they can radiate this like, I've arrived, we have arrived, because you've all gone through all the shit that the universe could throw at you and survived triumphantly. This is another example of the power couple. Yes, 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 yes. I'm trying to finish because, it's already 5:03 and I've got to go up and down because the last call was at 4 in the morning. Oh, yes, yes, yes. They're telling me, proceeding. I'm proceeding. Yeah. There are one or two possible issues which could cloud this otherwise delightful partnership that can get in the way. Okay. The all controlling Scorpio energy and Scorpio, they like to keep their people close to them and control even their activities and even people that are surrounding them. This is the part that can truly be fucked up with Scorpio, and it depends on the strength of the Pisces woman if we're dealing with a Scorpio man and a Pisces woman. And we also have to understand and realize which one is older and which one is younger. There are many factors here, but then again, the Pisces woman, it doesn't really matter how old she is. If she is turned on and totally wet for this man, as most women would be for the Scorpio man, she will throw herself into the experience and then deal with the consequences later. I ain't mad at you, Miss Pisces. I ain't mad at you. There's some dudes that will do the same too. Ain't nothing like a little fun with a little element of danger and intrigue and drama. What? For some people, that's the whole reason for living. Really. But this combination, if they learn how to have fun, and then this combination they'll play hard and they'll work hard. But uh, if we're dealing with the Pisces man and the Scorpio woman, yes, they can work hard and play hard. But if we're dealing in reverse, if it is the Pisces woman and the Scorpio man, it is the Scorpio man that will work and play hard, and the Pisces woman will follow. Yeah, the Pisces woman will follow because there's nothing more delightful and more delicious than a man that can take you here, take you there, pay for your flight here and there, put a mink coat on you and some jewelry, and just take care of your birth and just like you don't gotta worry about nothing. But then you have to deal with the terror of it is to deal with the Scorpio and their limiting and constrictive or restrictive demands when they bring you into their lair. No, the honey is too good. It's juicy. You, how can you leave the layer of a Scorpio once you taste the nectar? It's too sweet. It's too delicious. You need to stick around. You gotta stick around. What? If the nectar is that sweet at the beginning of the layer, can you imagine deeper in? But then again, like a Venus flytrap, that might be the lure, and then it takes you in. With Scorpio, you never know. You just never know. But I think that's part of the excitement, and I think that's part of the attraction and the allure. You know, listen, I would not turn down a Scorpio, man or woman, because just the promise of that which lies behind those eyes of theirs is enough to make you just make your legs quiver. I'm not trying to gas them up, both Pisces and Leo, but both of them together is like fire on the water. you know, they can truly have a lot of fun together. But again, if we are going to talk about an anchor, it will be Scorpio if we're dealing with a man or the woman dealing with a Pisces. But more so a Scorpio man with a Pisces woman. Because a Pisces man, believe it or not, can hold his own. His differences and needs and even his differences and shortcomings are not the same as that of the Pisces woman. Not at all. Understand that. You know? You know, this combination is a tag team. A tag team that can work wonders. You know. If they learn to transcend each other's shortcomings and come together, their influence can reach the community and elevate the community and their surrounding people. They can become a powerful influence within their own community and not even be aware of the impact that they're doing in a positive way with their own sphere of influence, friends and family, and eventually the community. You know, these are the people that usually, like the Rock of Gibraltar, will stand the test of time, will withstand and endure any element thrown at them that will cause any kind of erosion. The pyramids of Egypt are still standing after thousands and thousands of years of their construction. This is no different than also with this combination. If it's founded with true principles and philosophies and work ethic, and if this couple really understand each other and know each other from the get-go, and come together and transcend lust and desire. Because, once the glitter wears off, you have to like yourself and respect yourself and the partner. And if you can survive the illusion of lust and you actually enjoy who is in front of you, then there is a possibility that there is a life that you can create with this person. And that could be a very beautiful thing. This combination is one that evolves over time. And we're done with this combination.